They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Bioshock to me is one of those games that's really special. It was one of the first games I played that combined a well-crafted story, a well-designed world, and had themes in it that just made it an amazing experience for the first time whenever I played it so many years ago. And I went back and replayed it recently and found a new appreciation for many of the things that it talked about, it discussed, and I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you on my replay of Bioshock. So the very core of Bioshock to me was a unique idea. When you're descending into Rapture, Andrew Ryan is giving you his sales pitch of what the city can be for you, a way to get away from control of the governments, the churches, any organization that would try to hinder you. You could come to Rapture and not be afraid of having someone hinder you from being the best version of yourself. That was what his main idea was for Rapture and what he strived for everyone to be able to do when they came to the city. So from there, you're left to wonder what happened, because when you step out of the bathysphere for the first time in Rapture, everything is in shambles. Everything is broken, destroyed, and before we can really dive into the actual game itself, it's important, I think, to talk about the events that happened prior, before the game starts. The main conflict in the game is between Andrew Ryan and Frank Fontaine. Their struggle for power in Rapture and the efforts that they are willing to go through to seize control of Rapture. And the build-up to the first game, the build-up to the start of the game, rather, is just this blow per blow. They're always attacking each other, trying to get the upper hand, lots of casualties everywhere. And it's all based around Adam, this drug that's found in sea slugs on the bottom of the ocean floor. And this drug is genetic altering. This Adam drug can be refined down into plasmids, which can give you abilities like telekinesis, electrocution, all kinds of different things that you see throughout the game. And that was the main idea that Andrew Ryan sold to people, was that if you came here, you could be whatever you wanted to be, and this was one of the advancements that was made without the control of ethics, governments, and other obstacles. And so people started to use this drug to alter themselves, but then it was a slippery slope, because once you started using drugs like normal drugs, you have to take more of them to sustain what you already have. And so people had a problem with that because it was hard to come by. So that's where Fontaine steps in with cheaper black market drugs, and in exchange for those drugs, he just asked for your service and his army. And so inevitably there's a conflict for those drugs, and there's inevitably there's a conflict for power. People need Adam, and as a way to kind of make more Adam, Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum is one of the characters in the game, and she talks about the procedure that they go through where they surgically implement one of those sea slugs into orphan girls, which are then called Little Sisters throughout the rest of the game. And those Little Sisters are responsible for going out and retrieving Adam from dead bodies, because there's a lot of dead bodies everywhere. And Fontaine retaliates and attacks the Little Sister factories, which then spurs Ryan to create the Big Daddy program. Big Daddies are basically these dyed suits covered bodyguards that are genetically enhanced and psychologically prepared to protect Little Sisters at all costs, no matter what. This all eventually builds up. Andrew Ryan and Fontaine are continually fighting until Fontaine is reported to be killed, and then another figure steps in by the name of Atlas, and he pretty much carries the momentum that Fontaine had all the way to the end, where the conflict comes to a head at a New Year's Eve party in 1958. The game itself takes place in 1960, so this takes two years afterwards, and everything is in shambles by the time you get there, and the whole story, the whole before build up, is told through audio logs. And it's ironic because one of the things that Andrew Ryan promotes the most in his opening speech is to get away from ethics, morality, government, all of these overbearing issues that would cause you to be hindered. It's funny because one of the biggest decisions that you have in the game as the player is based on morality, because you need Adam just as much as anybody else does to continue your way through Rapture. And whenever you confront a little sister and a big daddy, there's two ways that you can go about handling the situation. You can either choose to harvest the little sister, or you can choose to save her. Saving her gets you far less Adam, but you save the little girl that was once there. Versus harvesting the little sister, harvesting the Adam gets you the brunt of the Adam, almost all of it, but you also pretty much kill the little sister in the process. So you're morally conflicted as to what do you do as far as surviving goes. It's kind of funny how in a game that talks about choice and shows you that you have a choice and the weapons you want to use, the plasmids you want to use, all this stuff, you never really have one when, in the grand scheme of things, you're being controlled, which is a pretty big spoiler, but I mean, the game's like over 10 years old. So, through the phrase, "would you kindly," Fontaine, it triggers you to basically follow his every command, and from the get-go, after it's revealed, it really focuses in on all of the times that he talks to you and commands you to do stuff, and you realize that none of the decisions that you made in the game were ever yours to make. It was always just go here, go there, kill this person, do this. And it really is one of the most mind-boggling twists in a game. At least it was for me. When I think of games that left a mark on me earlier in my life, Bioshock was one of the first that I played that united a well-crafted world, a amazing story, and explored themes that I didn't see many other games at the time doing. So if you ever have the chance to play Bioshock, I totally recommend it. It is an awesome experience. I'll talk to you guys next time.